Good morning, my most amazing art students. I had to go to a meeting today, so I can't be here, but I'm recording this video on the very day that I'm going to be back at school this afternoon, so I hope that you're going to do a good job for Miss Braylock. Couple things. One, remember that happy sad board where we get marks if we're doing a good job? There's that. Miss Braylock can use that. If you do a good job, she can make a tally mark on the happy side. If you're not doing a good job, she can make a tally mark on the sad side. But I want to tell you that there's another very important person watching. The elf. The elf on the shelf has come, and his name is Vincent. He wrote us a letter today. It says, "I am watching." Vincent. So he flies back home to Santa every single night to let him know who's on the naughty list and who's on the nice list. So be sure you don't want to touch Vincent, because if you touch him, then he will lose his magic and he won't be able to tell Santa all the good things that you're doing. So you don't want to touch him. Okay, one thing about today. You guys have been studying Vincent van Gogh. Vincent van Gogh did a very famous painting. It was called The Starry Night. I'll put a picture of it right here. The reason that painting is so popular, it actually lives here in the United States in a museum in New York City called the Museum of Modern Art. The reason people love that painting so very much is the sky seems to swirl and almost vibrate, like you're standing underneath it and you can feel the wind and see the stars twinkling because he uses all those little dots and dashes of color. So I had an idea. I thought it'd be really fun for Christmas if we combined the two and we made a background for a snowman inspired by Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. And we'll work on our snowman next week, but today is the day we're going to do the background for our painting. So your snowman is cold, right? We want to keep him cold so that he can stay alive. You don't want to melt your snowman, so you don't want to use the warm colors. You want to use the cold colors. So let's talk about that. Today you're going to be using tempera cakes. Okay, and tempera cakes are dry when you touch them, but even Miss Braylock can spray them with a little bit of water to help you out. But you're gonna take your brush and swirl it around in the water and swirl it on top, but you're not gonna use the red because red is a warm color. And I don't even think I could probably take these out, but that is a warm color. That will melt your snowman. Red, orange, and yellow are gonna melt your snowman. You do not want him to melt. You wanna use the cold colors. So purple, this is a light blue or teal blue. It's kind of a mix of blue-green. You can use that one. You can use the dark blue and the green, but don't use the warm colors. Maybe I should put that over here so that those are on this side, but you wanna use the cold colors. Let's talk about technique. At your table, you have I guess I use dog dishes because they don't tip over. You have a dog dish of water and you have a sponge. Remember that the sponge is what you use to dry off your brush after you've washed it. If you are tapping, that sprays water everywhere, all over everyone's picture. So you don't want to be tapping it like a drum. You want to wash your brush gently, really kind of slowly. You don't want to go too fast because you don't want to splash water everywhere, and make an X on SpongeBob. Then your brush is dry and ready to change colors. So let's talk about swirls. First off, your paintbrush is a ballerina. She dances on her tippy toes. She never ever scoots around on her bottom because nobody wants to go to the booty scooty ballet. Okay, so no smashing your brush. Let's talk about how we're gonna do this. We're gonna add some water. I'm gonna use that light blue, that one that's kind of a mix of blue and green. And if I hold my brush up high, okay, I don't wanna hold it tight like a pencil because when I hold it tight like a pencil, I can't make good swirls, okay? So I wanna use it in the middle here. and I'm gonna hold it straight up and down, and I'm gonna start with a little circle that's gonna go out and get bigger. So I'm gonna start with a little circle, and then I'm gonna go bigger and bigger and bigger. That's a really big swirl, okay? You can see that. Now I'm gonna wash my brush on SpongeBob, and I'm gonna make an X, and I'm gonna add a little bit of water to my brush, and I'm gonna go into the purple now. Let's see what that's gonna look like. Now I can make my swirls little and I can make them big. I want you to fill up this whole paper with swirls of all different sizes. Okay, so I'm gonna make another one in this purple because it's really pretty. And I'm gonna try another one here. Okay. So I'm gonna fill up this whole big paper with swirls. I'm gonna use green, purple, and the two blues. And you can even put them right on top of each other. They don't have to be separate. In fact, it looks better if they're on top of each other, because you'll get all those layers of color. And you want to fill up the whole background of swirls all the way to the edges of your paper. So I have all this white spots that I need to cover up. Let me show you what it looks like when it's done. When you're all done, you're gonna have it all filled up with all kinds of swirls all over your paper. You're gonna wanna make sure though, before you get started, that you do one very important thing. You need to write your name. Now, I would rather that you not write your name in paint. If you have a pencil, I don't have a pencil sitting here, so I'm gonna use a marker. If you have a pencil, will you write your name on the back of your artwork? You don't wanna write your name on the front of your artwork. So I wrote my name, Miss Levy. When you're all done, it goes in the drying rack, and then you can work in your sketchbook. I have a few special things at Sketchbook Town today that are kind of fun. And if you get to go to Sketchbook today, then I'm gonna teach you really quick on how to do that. You know that you get your sketchbook from the art store. You can take out a bag of markers if you like. But I have a new box, like a Christmas building set. You can build this set, and then I need you to draw a picture of it though. Okay, so when you're done, you can do that. Please try not to lose the pieces. And if you have it, nobody else can take it away from you. You can share it at your table if somebody else wants to work with you at your table, but we can't take the parts and pieces to other tables. Deal? Deal. Okay. The other thing I have at Sketchbook Town is I have some little winter houses. Okay, if you get a winter house, you can take it to your table. I don't want you to take your marker and color on my winter house. I want you to put it in front of you, and I want you to see if you can try and draw it in your sketchbook. That is another activity. And then the last thing that I have that's new is I have some snowflakes, okay, in the crayon box. These are the rubbing plates. So this has a bumpy side and a pushed inside. You want the bumpy side, and you'll be putting that under your piece of paper, okay, and rubbing on top of it, okay? That paper's not a good example, but in your paper in your sketchbook. But you can only use crayons with rubbing plates. You can't use markers because it will ruin the tip of the marker. That bumpy side will ruin the tip of the marker. All right, I hope you have an awesome day. Oh, and Miss Braylock, you have permission today to pick 3 students who have done an amazing job. And I have 3 new pins to give out today. My pin box is right here underneath the Christmas tree. It almost looks like a Christmas present. Okay, so let's talk about these pins. You can give 2 of these pins out that say, "Let's make art." Those are 2 pins there, so that's 1, 2. And then I have a special pin. It has a Santa hat on it, and it says, "Santa's favorite artist." This is for the student who you really think has been doing an amazing job today and deserves this pin. At the very end, 5 minutes before class ends, you'll have them clean up, put their brushes in the bucket at the art store, bucket of water. You're gonna wanna put your brushes with the bristle side in the water. Okay, clean up your table, stand with your 0 in the air, and then Miss Braylock will pick who's gonna get my 3 pins today. All right, I hope you have an awesome morning. See you later. Goodbye, my amazing art students.